got a knife.
What?
He's got a knife.
What?
And that's not the worst part.
The worst part is, you teach a class about slashers, and you still walked into a dark alley. Alone.
Peter, that's not funny.
No. It's not.
Took us a while to get this one out. It's one of my favorite franchises, actually. And we did a retrospective on it last year, or the year before.
It was last year.
Remember.
So it was.
Lost track. It was
Yeah.
last year. There you go. We're all in agreement that the Scream franchise is good stuff. But as a horror franchise goes, it's pretty solid. And it's good self-aware horror. I was looking forward to when the last Scream came out. I really liked it. A lot of people didn't. I still think the last Scream is one of the better Screams. And I think the reason I liked it so much was, A, you had Matt Pettinelli open, and Tyler Gillette came on board with their screenwriting pals, Guy Busick and James Vanderbilt. Now, these guys all teamed up to do a movie called Ready or Not, which is just a wonderful film. And so these guys come on board to take over for Wes Craven. I thought was great. I also want to keep in mind it was 10 years, 11 years since the last one. So time to marinate and readjust, revamp, what's going to work, what's not. Who do we take out? Who do we don't take out? Sadly, Dewey got taken out. So I was looking forward to what these guys can do next. Now, my only concern with this is it's a year later. So where are we going to go here with the writing? Is this going to be a rush job? I
thought it was put out for too quick.
Yeah, it seemed pretty. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be in the wrong here because this movie's made a shitload of money and everyone loves it. People think it's the best one since the original. I saw this film in the theater. I saw it twice, and I still was on the fence. And then once it hit video on demand, I was able to watch it again. I just wanted to be sure because it's, like I said, it's my go-to. It's probably the best horror franchise out there.
I would say it's the best slasher franchise.
I'd still say horror, my personal opinion. And so I really wanted to make sure. Because I didn't like it the first time I saw it. Did not like it at all, actually. But after watching it a few times, let's see what my views have changed a bit. I guess we'll find out as we talk Scream 6. All right. We got pretty much the same as all Screams. Regular cast is back. Gale, Sam, Tara, Chad, Mindy, Skeet.
But not Neve.
Detective Bailey, Ethan Bailey. Oh, Quinn Bailey. Whoops. Spoiler. Oh, by the way, this is spoiler-filled. Danny, Kirby, Laura, Dr. Stone, yada, yada,
But no Neve and no Arquette.
No, you can't have Arquette. He's dead.
I know that, but he could come back as, I don't know.
No.
Billy Loomis is dead.
I mean,
but he came back.
Well, yeah, but that's an alter ego. There's a difference. So they really picked up the gore. That was one of their big selling points. They had three big selling points for this one. They had it was shot in Manhattan. I'll tell you what right now, guys. Nothing cool happens on the fucking Empire State. Nothing cool happens in the Statue of Liberty. They could have filmed this in fucking Canada for all I care.
It was filmed in Canada. That's I think a lot of it. But yes, obviously there was like sort of exterior shots that were done in New York.
Yeah, so I mean to plug that and they really promoted it, I thought was stupid, pointless. The closest thing I really recognized of New York would have been the subway scene, and that could have been anywhere as well.
Yeah.
They claim it's a lot gorier. Yeah, it's got some pretty great deaths. I'll give you that one. I don't know if it's as gory as the last one, but it's
more violent.
It's more brutal. It's probably a better way to look at it. And they also promote it's the longest one. It's over 2 hours long. And I'm going to tell you right now, it should not be over 2 hours long. The great thing about slasher films and the great thing about Scream films, they don't overstay their welcome. This overstays its welcome. So we're going to jump into it. We're going to jump into the opening sequence. We actually get our favorite scene of pretty much all the Scream films, the opening sequence. This time we've got Laura, who's going on a blind date. That's kind of cool. It's played by Samara Weaving, who works with these guys before. She was the lead in Ready or Not. So it's kind of nice to get her in the beginning sequence here. So this whole thing is the blind date thing. I remember first seeing this, I was like, who's this fucking clueless to go into an alleyway in New York?
To be fair, the killer on the phone does say that. You're a film studies teacher who specialises in 80s slashers, and you've just walked into an entry on your own, a dark entry.
Yeah, but he says that. Yeah, they play. I guess they do mention it, but that's right before he's going to kill her. But I watched it again. Like I said, I watched it a few times, and the character's very nervous and shy, and so I could see her being misled down the wrong path, pardon the pun. And so it does work. And I'll tell you what, the copycat aspect of it is really, really fucking good. This whole opening sequence from the beginning all the way to where the real Ghostface shows up when he ends up killing the copycats, Jason, I believe his name is brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's a very strong opening, and it's one of the best opening sequences. Well, we'll discuss what happens after this, but yeah, I liked it.
As much as I like the opening, and I'm going to take the opening, they should really have made this the heart of the story. I think you could have misled the audience further on besides the first 15 minutes. I think you could have really played this almost 40 minutes into it and really think, what the fuck's going on here? And and then pull the rug underneath everybody, because when you get the twist at the end, who's the killer, you also give them another twist in this one where this is a copycat the whole time. And you really could have played some, really good red herrings with that, and you could really play some nice Easter eggs, knowing it's not knowing it's a copycat for the audience to go back for repeat value. It could have really played on that, but it's cut short. Pardon the pun again. However, the opening sequence is fucking really good.
After watching the trailer, seeing all of the Ghostface outfits, I was under the impression, I had a feeling that they were going to go with like a cult of Ghostface fanatics and like copycat killers. I thought that would have been cool. It sort of does that, but it's more like a revenge sort of story. Very similar in ilk to Scream 2, probably intentionally. They could have been planning the copycat aspect of it, but then after Halloween Kills came out, maybe said, oh shit, we're going to have to change this, or else it'll look like we're copycatting Halloween Kills with a copycat killer, or killers.
Yeah, that's true. Now, her execution is pretty brutal. And then when you find out it's a copycat and Jason's talking on the phone, he thinks he's talking to his partner in crime, Greg.
Yes.
Who's clearly dead, but he's actually talking to the real Ghostface. Welcome back, Roger Jackson.
Yes.
Always nice to hear his voice. And as he has a really creepy conversation with the Ghostface. And when he tells Ghostface that it's like killing an animal or something like that, or
yes, it's just like meat and stuff. Yeah, I felt sort of nothing, that sort of thing. It's quite sort of the sort of shit that a real serial killer would say, By the way, did you notice the cool sort of reference what Jason, obviously named after Jason Voorhees, was watching on his TV when he was on the phone in this scene?
I did see that, yeah.
Jason Takes Manhattan?
Yeah. It was all right. I saw it coming. I was waiting for them to pepper that in somehow. It's too bad they have to reference that piece of shit.
I mean, as I say, this second part of the opening sequence, by the way, I'd also like to say I liked how after the girl was killed, he took his mask off. That's a first.
What do you mean?
Jason, whenever he killed the woman at the start, in the opening sequence, he takes his mask off.
Yeah, but he's a copycat. He doesn't know.
Yes, but I don't think we've never seen that before in a Scream film, especially in an opening sequence.
Oh, well, I think, yeah. Well, he had to do that to get back in it so he can walk the streets without, a bloody face, a mask on.
Yeah. But from the viewer's point of view, it was quite good.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it was pretty much just to let the people know, because once you reveal who it is, I think people caught on that this is either a copycat or whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's solid either way. We're going to go with it. What was it? About 20 minutes into it or something like that? 25?
Yeah, it's quite a long opening.
Quite a long opening, which I'm fine with. I'll go with it.
I also loved just before it hits the credits, when the real Ghostface turns around to Jason just as he's killing him, and he goes, "Who gives a fuck about the movies?" and then just kills him, basically.
Yeah.
That was a good line. Sadly, this is the best part of the film.
It's got more to it than that. It's got more meat on the bone, but it's far and few between. We see. Did you see? What's this about Richie's film? Did you see that?
Yes.
So, the whole point is these guys, the copycat, wanted to finish Richie's film.
Yes.
Because Richie's whole motive was he was tired of the sequels and thing becoming formulaic. So he wanted to become a new serial killer so they can get back to the basics.
Yeah, he wanted to make his own stab film, basically.
He wanted to make it a new original film. He was getting tired of,
a requel.
The copy and paste. Yeah, a requel. But, all right. But we got our main character back, Sam. She's talking to another wasted cameo here, Dr. Henry. What's his name? It's Dr. Stone, but it's played by Henry Searsney.
Yes.
I'd like to see him from Mission Impossible.
Yes, I was just about to say. He's in the original Mission Impossible as well.
Yeah, that's why I said he's in the Mission Impossible.
Yes, but he's also in the later ones. But he's in the very first one too, with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been back in them until this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is his second outing as Mission Impossible.
Right. Yeah.
You confuse me so many times, Trevor. I swear to Christ.
Here, it's not hard to do.
So the whole point of the doctor sequence here is to pretty much give. This is pretty much. I know Screams are going to have these red herrings. This is a bad red herring. You always think it's him right away, like, oh, it's the doctor. He's getting all the info. And then when he asks Sam to open up and tell him what happened, she pretty much tells him everything. And the fact that how much she liked killing Richie, and it felt good. And he goes, okay, that's the end of our session. So
and that's the end of all our sessions. Yeah. Get out, you psycho.
Pretty much. And he tells you he might have to report this. And it's like, well, dude, you told her to open up to you. You can't fucking,
But there is, I think in reality, certainly in the UK, I mean, there is that whole sort of doctor-patient confidentiality, but there's a grey area when it comes to, if they're going to harm themselves or other people. So that's pretty, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, if they can tell you they're going to do harm, they have to report it.
Yes.
She didn't say that, but
yeah, but she sort of suggested.
She kind of suggested it, I suppose. So that's pretty much his whole scene. He does come back. We'll talk about it. It's a fucking disturbing death. I'll give her that one. Mm-hmm. All right, so we introduced to Quinn. Oh, Quinn. Now, Quinn is one of the new characters. She is the roommate, obviously, of the girls. And she's a good misdirect. I'm going to give him credit on this one. I didn't see her coming. I didn't see, I didn't see them planting kind of a seed.
I sort of did, but it was more later on whenever I sort of realised it was a family cameo about I didn't immediately realise, sort of think that she might have been in on it. I personally thought she was a fucking really annoying character.
I was okay with that. I mean, she was an annoying character, but at the end of the day, it's all about misdirect with this. So, the more annoying she is, when she gets killed, we're all like, oh, thank God, she's dead. But that's what I'm saying. It's a nice little misdirect. So it works when she's taken out of the picture. Then we have the big party scene, which I thought was stupid. This whole setup was just to kind of meet everybody, all the new characters, Anika and Ethan.
Exposition, basically.
Yeah. And the sister is going to go up and sleep with this guy, and come on.
Yeah.
Tara wouldn't do that in real life.
Well, she was drunk, so who knows? But Chad then beats him up, and then Samantha comes in and tasers him in the balls.
Yeah, the whole thing was also to show how protective Sam is of Tara. Mm-hmm. She pretty much followed her to New York when everyone else. I love these movies where everyone goes to school together after everything happens. The last person I would want to see is the one person I was fucking, lying.
And they all go to college together as well.
Yeah, I was like, why would you hang out with someone that you were just lying in a pile of blood with a couple of years ago earlier? What the fuck?
Yeah.
But, Quinn talks. Tara's kind of, after she has a little fight, Quinn tells her that she lost her brother.
Straight away, yeah.
Well, now that you watch the film, obviously you know the outcome. Yeah, but that's my point, though. The film is very good at misdirecting. It doesn't, even though she literally tells you, "I lost my brother," we should have right there go, "Whoa," but you don't. Trevor, you did not catch it either.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
A serious question.
Oh, serious question, everybody, Trevor.
Yes, Samantha, did she never meet Richie's family? Obviously she didn't.
No.
But, I mean, it just seems a bit odd to be having such a serious boyfriend and never meeting his family.
Yeah, but she was a recluse. And so was he. And also keep in mind, he probably wouldn't want to go that route because Richie's plan was to make the movie. So he wouldn't want her to meet the family right away anyway.
Plus his family were all psychos and it would give the game away.
Yeah, exactly, that too. So, no, I'd give that a pass. I don't like the whole Tara and Chad falling in love. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Look, see, to be honest with you, see the core four, as they are irritatingly called in this, they wouldn't hold a torch to the original crew of Sidney, Dewey, Gale Weathers, and Randy. They just would not. They're actually pretty annoying. Maybe it's because I'm a bit older. I don't know. And I don't get. I'm not down with the kids anymore. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I just find him general. I actually quite like Chad. I have to admit, he seems like because he's portrayed as a sort of nice guy. The rest of them are pretty annoying. And there's certainly no Sidney, Dewey, and Gale and Randy.
Well, we got to move on from that because we're not going to get them anymore. In fact, Gale should not have been in this. What a waste. In fact, without having Nev Campbell in this, Gale has nobody to rat-a-tat with because Gale Weathers has no rat-a-tat with these guys.
Yeah, they try to do it to set up that scene where it's a homage to Scream 2, one of many, where Tara punches Gale. But it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. Doesn't she punch her in the first one?
Sidney punches her a couple of times in the first two. Right. Yeah.
Well, we meet Detective Bailey, played by who I always like to see, Dermot Mulroney.
I like Dermot.
Yeah, so do I. Not in this, unfortunately. He so the copycat left not the copycat. This time it was the real killer. Left the license where the body was of the copycat killer. So like, oh no. And so this is where everything starts to unfold. We're about 35 minutes into it. Everyone's up to par. We're introduced to everybody who we need to care about or not care about.
Yeah.
And everything else, chaos begins. So Richie calls. And so,
from beyond the grave.
From beyond the grave. Can I see that? How the fuck does she still have his number on her phone?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. I said, why would you keep the number of your dead ex-psycho boyfriend on the phone? Although, again, it is addressed, but it's still stupid.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I thought that was funny. His face is on the picture, when you see his phone ringing. I was like, what the fuck?
This scene in the convenience store is quite effective, especially when you see Ghostface with the gun and stuff.
Yeah, this is probably the next best scene, if not the best scene in the film. Mm-hmm. Because you're taking a knife out of the hands, you're using a gun. He kills some innocent people in this because usually the Ghostface is linked. It's only going to go after particular people. It's a revenge game mainly for Ghostface. So he takes out some innocent bystanders pretty brutally here, especially the store owner with the shotgun.
Pump action, double barrel shotgun.
Yeah, fuck. It is a very fun scene. And the nice thing about the scene, it's well shot. It goes outside the box for what the killer's MO is. But most importantly, the fucking cops show up.
And it's tense.
Yeah, it is. It's very good. Yep. And you can't fault it. It's definitely, they do something different. And that's what I would like to have seen more of this and more of the opening sequence a little longer, and then instead of going back to the basic formula, we're going to have the basic formula, but sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone because otherwise it just becomes a copy and paste.
For me, it's about tweaking the formula and doing something different, and that's what this film, although there are sort of times when it shows promise that they're going to do that, the beginning and the scene in the convenience store, generally they resort back to basically remaking Scream 2.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. They mention that in the film. So they get you there, Trevor.
No, I know that there, but it's literally like the filmmakers themselves, the directors. It's basically a literal remake of Scream 2, but an inferior one.
Yeah. Oh, Scream 2 is always going to be better. But we pretty much from the convenience store scene, the film kind of starts getting a little flaky.
Yes.
Here's a problem with Self-Aware, but it was never a problem for the Scream films. The Self-Aware works in all the Scream films. Always has, always will. That's what makes the Scream franchise so fucking good. You might, we thought 3 was okay, but it was still entertaining and you still went with it. And actually, Scream 3, in all fairness, thinking about it, wraps up the original trilogy quite well. You could have ended there and moved on.
Yeah.
But the problem as you go on with more Self-Aware and you're replacing old characters with new characters, I'm fine with that. I'll go with it. But the one thing you can't do is take the Self-Aware and it becomes, or make it, a crutch.
Yeah. And it just, it's just basically, the scenes where they're talking about who the killer could be and stuff, they're just copy and paste from what Randy used to do. Almost literally just tweaking it slightly to make it more modern. And I like films, right? I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Halloween Kills, perfect example. They did something bold, something daring, and something different, and they pulled it off, in my opinion, not in everybody's, by the way, obviously. But that's what I wanted here, and that's what I'm presuming there'll be a Scream 7. That's what I am hoping for with the Scream 7. I have to say, I do like my fan service as well. But there's certain skill to fan service. I did like the fact that they were using the masks of the previous killers and stuff, and which we'll get to soon. The basically the sort of museum, the theater, which is like a homage to the previous killers and stuff. I did enjoy that, but yeah.
Well, that's the heart of the film. That's a pretty. So far we're on board with the film. Now this is where I have a problem when I'm talking about the fan service. People wanted Kirby back.
Yes.
You could have brought her back in any form that you wanted. What the fuck are you thinking about bringing her back as an FBI agent?
It's just ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense. She went to high school with Sam.
Yes. Although she was a few years older, apparently Sam was like a few years below her in school. That is confirmed, to be fair. But the fact that she's went from this sort of irritating sort of high school sort of blonde bimbo-y type character to a fucking hardcore FBI agent, give me a break.
Oh yeah, she's built like fucking an Ewok. What the fuck? She's a tiny
like
little
4 foot
thing.
nothing. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ. And then we see Gale pops up to the scene. And Jesus Christ, God love her, and I wish her the best in her future endeavors. But Gale needs to be written out of this now, or killed.
Character herself is tired, and I don't mean like literally tired. It's just like, oh, Gale's gonna be a bitch again. Gale's gonna be selfish, but really she has a heart of gold, and she's gonna be badass and sort of be on board with the gang. It's the same with every film. It's just play it out.
It's now we'll talk about the deaths. We mentioned the shotgun sequences, killing innocent bystanders, the death in the beginning. You have some good gore here, and the doctor definitely gets, oh my God, it's cringeworthy when he stabs him in the nose. Oh, Jesus. Poor bastard. And obviously to get to Sam's records. Which is, I guess that makes sense why he was peppered in there. And again, it is only a cameo. Again, for fan service of the original film these guys did together. Now, at this point, we know the doctor's innocent.
Yes. Well, I mean, Quinn has been killed, so
not yet.
Is possible.
Not yet.
Well, that's right. Yes.
No,
but she does get killed.
That's where. The scene works. The scene works. He works quite a bit. And as I talk about this film, and I say this scene works, a lot of scenes do work. Like the Danny scene when he is across the way and he can see Ghostface in Quinn's room.
Yeah.
And and they're have to get a point A to point B. They have to cross the ladder. That whole sequence.
Yes. Can I just say, just as we're approaching this sequence, what the fuck is the point in this cute guy character, the neighbor? I know he's supposed to be a bit of a red herring and stuff, but talk about bland.
He's not a good actor. If that's what you're saying.
Yeah, he's basically just a male model.
I've seen better acting in the fucking dead doctor's corpse. Fucking hell. No, yeah, he's just he's a fucking body count for the next movie.
Yeah, hopefully he gets bumped off in the opening sequence. Yeah.
So when Quinn gets it again, you had me. I was like, okay, you killed Quinn. Well, Quinn was going to get it. You got the Scooby Gang, and then you got these, the butler. Mm-hmm. So you know who's going to get it. I will say this: I like when it's hard to watch. You see, the gore is good. I got to give her credit. When Anika gets stabbed, and then you see the knife going up.
Yes,
and she's not wearing she's you can see her. She's got a belly shirt.
Yes,
so you can see the skin and everything. It's not just hidden behind a baggy sweatshirt.
Yeah. No. The practical effects for the stabbings are very, very impressive, and they make you wince.
But it has like when you watch it again. Obviously, Quinn's involved, so it was nice when Sam, when the killer's trying to take everybody out, she runs to grab knives, and the knives are gone. Mm-hmm. So she attacks him with the block where the knives are supposed to be.
Yeah,
but it does it makes you go back. Like, wait a minute, who took the knives? So this whole thing was staged. Mm-hmm. So it does well at planting the little Easter eggs or the seed of how they plan this. The latter scene is fun. And her death, that poor girl, she gets gutted like a fish, and then she falls and smacks her head on a fucking garbage bin.
I must admit, see, anything to do with heights. I have a fear of heights, and anything to do with heights, and it'll work for me in terms of horror.
Now, so far, we're about halfway, and the film's got me. I'm all right with it. And so far, guys, the movie gets a pass. It's a good film. But
I'm on the fence currently. So,
Detective Bailey, Dermot Mulroney, who I like to see, comes down, sees his daughter's body, and he's like, "Oh, you bastard, got my daughter." Yeah. I like Dermot Mulroney. I think he's a fine actor, but Jesus, he does not sell this. I knew the minute he came out of that, he's guilty. I didn't think of the Quinn thing. It didn't gel that Quinn was involved still. I don't know why, but I knew he was in it. I knew he did it or was involved somehow. Mm-hmm. Because all of a sudden he's like, "Oh my God! Well, we're gonna solve this. Let's go.
Let's get the bastard."
Yeah, and he's cracking jokes and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck? Your daughter was just gutted like a fish.
To be honest, I didn't think that the detective right away was involved. However, I was pretty confident that Nerd Boy, whatever you call him, the son, was involved. And also later on, whenever there's a reveal, hear me, yeah, Betty Quinn comes back type thing. So it wasn't the most difficult to sort of put together. Well, it wasn't like a big shock.
Remember, Quinn said she had a brother who died, supposedly in a car accident. But then he makes a comment, "Boy, both my kids are gone. You fuck with my family, you die." Yeah. It's a horribly executed line. But right there, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, he's did it. This is it. Yeah. And then Gale found out where the masks are coming from because she knows somebody who knows somebody. Mm-hmm. And you find out that the copycats had this little, as you mentioned, this little museum. Now, I like the museum. I guess I think it's kind of cool. It is the reason I like it is just for nostalgia purposes. Yes. You can go back and reflect of all the films and the different pieces.
That's the type of fan service I like.
Yeah, the different pieces of wardrobe, the TV that kills Stu. I mean, all this stuff.
Stu Macher's dressing gown as well.
Yeah, everything's there. I do think it's pretty stupid that how the fuck do you have all this shit? This is an evidence galore.
Yes.
And a one-line fix. Well, cops would do anything for money. Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it. It is contrived. Yeah. But I still liked it because I liked seeing all the old props and stuff, from the originals. And you got seeing photos of Dewey and, there was references to Randy and stuff. And yeah, I mean, I'll run with a bit of fan service. And Yeah.
And I do like the fact they used the fact that you go up on the stage, you have all these different outfits that were worn by the killers, but you have the Billy's right in the middle there, and it brings back her alter ego. It brings back her father, the sociopath in her, I guess you can say, or the killer in her. So they did it to kind of bring that back, because there's a scene coming up. It's one of the best scenes in Scream. I'm actually probably really enjoying this film now.
Did you notice the line later on in the museum where it's Kirby I think mentions they're talking about Stu Macker anyway, and then Kirby goes, "Yeah, that's if he's even really dead." I hope that's setting him up for him to return.
No, that's it, because that's why when the TV they dropped the TV on, I can't remember whose head it was. Oh, I think it was Ethan's.
Ethan, yeah.
She makes a line, "You can't come back from that," or something like that. So
Right, but that could be just a misleading line.
No, he's dead. Let's move on.
No, he is, but maybe Stu. No, did you know that originally in Scream 2, that Stu was meant to have survived and was behind it all from jail, but the script leaked online, so they had to do quick changes.
Yeah, I know there was a leak. I can't remember what the leak was, but I know there was a quick rewrite.
Yes. Stu was the original killer in Scream 2. We're going to bring him back.
Well, maybe he'll come back. You never know. Let's talk about Gale's attack.
Yes.
Stupid.
Yep, pointless. And she has a random new boyfriend who has no lines. What the fuck?
You couldn't have given us something scary, like get him. Let's see him get it before the phone rings.
Yes.
And then
pointless.
It just give us something. This was just a stupid fight scene. And then when she gets stabbed, "Don't tell him he got me. He didn't get me," or whatever it was, and she fades away. But she's
not dead.
Yeah, supposedly she survives. It was just poor. It was just like, why is she in this?
Even the acting with Courtney Cox, where they're trying to make her out to be badass, "I'm gonna get you, fucker," all that, those types of lines. It was just, yeah, right.
I do like the fact it's the first time Gale talked to the Ghostface.
Yes, I didn't even realize that.
Well, she did get a call once, but it was taken away by one of the other characters.
By Randy. It's in Scream 2.
Yeah.
Where Gale gets a call, but Randy snatches the phone.
Yeah. And I will say this: I do like the fact she's badass. She's prepared, so she gives him a good fight. Courtney
Cox really impressed me with her acting in the previous film, Scream 5, the fifth one. But here, she's just going through the motions.
Yeah, like I said, I think she needs that rat-tat-tat. So when you take away Dewey and you take away Sydney, there's nothing else for her to go with. She doesn't know these guys. So it's awkward. She shouldn't be here. Kirby should not be here.
Yep.
It doesn't work. It would be nice maybe at the end she might show up to save the day or something, maybe.
Yeah, small cameo or
small
something.
Cameo?
Yeah.
Or even kill her in the beginning. Really throw people off.
Yep. It'd be a bold move, yeah.
But we didn't get that, and it was pretty much, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Now we go to the train sequence. The train sequence, it was okay. I do like a lot of the people in the Halloween. Was it Halloween week here? Because everyone seems to be dressed up for a matter of weeks.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It was like Halloween for several days or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a weird one.
I do like the train and how it plays homage to Wes Craven's films. So all these Halloween costumes, all referencing his films, Deadly Friend, Deadly Blessing.
Pinhead and all there, and there's even the twins from The Shining. If you look closely, there's loads there. Basically.
Yeah, but it's mainly, but there's a lot of Wes Craven characters. Serpent in the Rainbow, Vampire in Brooklyn, stuff like that. It's kind of fun to see. A little nod to the hat. Freddy was there. I thought the scene could have been more tense, to be honest with you. I thought it was kind of bland.
Yeah, it was nothing special.
Yeah, and then when she gets stabbed, how the fuck is she in the end sequence in this film, running around?
Not only is she in the end sequence, she's literally running down the street like, I don't know, like some fucking Olympic sprinter. After being stabbed the fuck in the stomach. This
is what I'm talking about, where it comes to, they're taking the Dewey thing, which was funny. It was each
it was a running joke.
Each film he gets hurt more and more and more until finally he gets his true comeuppance. That's the word I'm looking for. But here, her and her brother should be fucking dead.
He was basically cut to shreds. But yet he survived. They both survived.
Here we talked about this about self-aware, and when do you take this too far?
Yeah.
And now you're just copying and pasting what did work. Doesn't work here. This is, pardon the pun, overkill. And another thing. If you're going to keep one of them, fine. But you needed to kill Chad, or you needed to kill, was it Mindy? I can't remember her name.
Mindy.
You needed to kill one of them because at the end of the day, we talk about this quite a bit with films. If there's no real tension or there's no peril for the main characters, what's the point?
Exactly. You know they're always going to survive. You know, it's just, and they're not even, to me anyway, they're not good characters anyway from the start. So, yeah, I'll happily use them as Ghostface fodder. I mean, Chad seems quite likable, but he's no Dewey, let's just say.
And it's sad because Chad's death's wasted now. Because that was a good, honorable death.
It's cheap.
It was because the whole ending, chase scene between Ethan, Quinn, and the dad against all these guys. It's fun. Chad's obviously the more athletic one, so he's protecting everybody, and then he finally gets his comeuppance when two of them attack him. That is a good death. But you throw it away when he's like, "Oh, hey guys," at the end, and he's having a good conversation. He's like alive and well.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I fucking stubbed my toe this morning. I was in tears. Fucking hell.
Exactly, yeah.
I do like when Sam is hanging on to Tara, and she's hanging off the balcony, and he's jumping up to try to stab her. And Ethan's so fucking annoying. He thinks he's badass.
Oh,
but when she jumps down with that knife in his mouth...
Yeah. There's a line in it where he goes, I always wanted to stick something in you, Tara. That's obviously a callback to Stu's line in the original, where he says, "I always liked you, Sydney." Oh
yeah. I didn't catch that one, but there's a lot of that.
But Ethan's just a terrible character.
I don't think he's a terrible character. I think he thinks he's cooler than he is, and I think that's the way the character's written. I think he's just a smarmy little weasel.
Quinn, to her credit, is an annoying character, but
she's good though.
She's like 21 or so, and most sort of 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds are pretty annoying. So yeah, she's quite good, especially when she turns nasty at the end. When she comes back.
Yeah, I mean when I love it when she just shoots her in the head. Just that's it. You're dead. We're done with you.
Yeah.
But I do like the ending here, and I do like when Sam, because I didn't catch it right away. I should have when I first saw it. Where you got Detective Bailey, he's on the stage, and you had Sam's missing. Obviously, he's looking for Sam, and then you get the phone call, ding, ling, 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 and now she's playing Ghostface. But I did notice that Billy's outfit's missing from the glass case.
Yeah. So
she was wearing it, obviously becoming her father technically.
Yes.
But when she fucking jumps on him and stabs him so many times.
Yeah. Oh, it's brutal.
It's brutal. But she doesn't kill him. She only, if you notice it, she only stabs him in the arm about 20 times. It's fucking nuts. But because at the end, she goes, "I'm not a murderer." She doesn't want to be her father, is pretty much what she's saying.
Yeah.
Because this whole side story, I didn't even mention it because it's so fucking stupid. How the fuck would anyone think she was the real killer in that whole thing that happened in the last movie?
Well, they do explain. I know it still is stupid, but they do explain it. There was actually the family, Richie's family, who started that rumor.
I know, but it's stupid. Come on.
I know.
I mean, no one's gonna buy into that. But yeah, so
I think that was more commentary about social media sort of witch hunts. Where basically somebody will say something, accuse somebody of something, next minute everybody piles on.
Yeah. The snowball effect.
Yeah.
But when she stabs him in the eye.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was quite a slightly bold move because, she's saying, "I'm not going to be like my dad." And she says, "You know what, fuck it."
Yeah, I like that. She's like, "Oh, fuck it, I'm killing him."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
It's a good death for him.
I like to see.
Through the eye.
I do like the end where you see her holding her father's mask. And she goes, "Oh God, she's stealing it. Here we go." And then she just throws it away.
Throws it out on the ground. Yeah.
So there you go. There's Scream 6.
To me, Scream 6, a pointless retread of Scream 2, an inferior retread. Not really. I don't really particularly enjoy watching the Core 4, as they're annoyingly called. They wouldn't hold a torch to the original crew. Pointless retread. I just hope that with Scream 7 that they try something bold and new and different.
Well, you know, like I said at the beginning of this, I watched it a couple times to see where I'm at. First, I thought the film was kind of boring and stupid. Second time, I was like, oh, they're kind of cheating. I mean, there's a difference between self-aware and cheating.
Yeah.
Cheating's ugly. Self-aware is fun. There's a difference. And I didn't want to copy and paste. But now talking about this for the podcast, yeah, it's a good film. It is. It's actually quite clever and fun. However, I think this is nothing. This is, I'm going to be honest with you, this is probably the worst one of all of them.
I agree.
And
I think it's just basically a generic Scream film.
I mean, it's got a lot going for it. It's got the deaths, the opening sequence, the copycat is so great. The convenience store. I do like the homage to all the characters and all the killers in that little museum thing. It's a good climax, actually. But Gale Weathers is completely useless in this. The whole Chad's still alive, Mindy's still alive thing is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I just felt the whole family dynamic was a little overkill. Again, pardon the pun. I think it cheats too much, and it's not self-aware. It's just cheating. Too much of a copy and paste.
Yeah.
So this is why I'd probably give this. I mean, it's entertaining. It's a good film, guys. It's a good Scream film, but this is the worst one. I really honestly think Scream 3 is a better film, the one that gets the worst rap. At least Scream 3 was smarter. It did wrap things up well. You might have liked some of the direction it went, but it certainly didn't cheat. This cheats too much. So the next time they come out swinging, and I know they will, they're good filmmakers, they need to give us something different and not fucking set in New York. It's pointless. They should have a Scream film set in like a cabin.
Or Belfast.
No, yeah. Ghostface won't last 10 seconds.
For me, overall, it was just, it had some good scenes, I have to admit. The convenience store, the opening especially. But it was just a generic filler Scream film. They need to go down a different route. Give us something new and get fucking rid of Kirby. Kill off Kirby and the opening in the next film. I quite like Gale, so, but she has to have a point to be there. Hopefully they'll give her a point to be there. No doubt there'll be a next one. But Kirby, and I actually quite like Hayden as an actress and the character in Scream 4, but this was just stupid.
No, she's gone. You don't bring her back. It's pointless. What they need to do is kill Gale in the beginning of the next one, and that brings back Cindy out of retirement.
Well, hope so.
That would be the best way to do this. And bring back Patrick Dempsey, her husband, who was in the third one. Why not? That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. Feel free to give us a shout and follow us what you thought of Scream 6. A lot of people are loving it, and that's cool. If a horror movie does well, I'm okay with it because we'll get more of them. I'm all right with seeing more horror films. So give us a shout on _podcast and of course Facebook. Guys, listen, got not much else to say. I'm like the screenwriter of Scream. I'm all out of ideas.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right.
Hello,
have a good
Gale.
one.
Strange that you and I have never spoken on the phone. This is long overdue.
I agree. Please.
I figured after all these years you'd want an interview.
You figured right. So, what's your motive this time? Are you angry at the movies, or you just trying to stay relevant?
Well, I could ask you the same. Don't you know the legacy characters are disposable now? Nobody cares about last century's heroes.
And why bother with me at all?
Call it nostalgia.